Well, I think that obviously any trade union issue or any trade union action comes within a global context and a global and political context. Obviously, the big thing for us now is Brexit and how it's going to affect us. Anything that will affect our economy will have an effect on workers and the working lives of our members. So obviously, how do we guard against it is really the difficult question, because nobody really knows. We're now at a position where there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of anxiety about what's going to happen, and it's very difficult to know what it is, how best to guard against it. So obviously the issue is you do our best, working hard, making sure that we support the government in any Brexit issues that is important to Gibraltar, and keeping our ears on the ground and making sure that Brexit doesn't have the effect of eroding workers' rights.
The union says of great concern is the issue of temps covering proper vacancies rather than long-term situations such as maternity and sick leave. This means they are often on far inferior terms and conditions than their full-term counterparts, and this, they say, is unacceptable. However, the GGCA say they can't move forward until the government completes the public service efficiency process, which appears to have stalled.
The fact that when we broached this with the Chief Minister, I think that was round about possibly between about 8 months ago, what we were told is that they were going to start a public efficiencies process, and that the AA recruitment could not be concluded until the public efficiencies process was undertaken and completed. So what we did was we contacted Minister Fossano, because he is in fact responsible for the public efficiencies process. And what we said is, look, let's help you as much as we can with this efficiencies process, with a view to getting it concluded so we can then move on with the recruitment of the AAs. And what's happened with that is we had a number of meetings with Minister Fossano. We did a lot of work going into departments, getting ideas from our members as to efficiencies that could be created. And we had 2 or 3 meetings with Minister Fossano where this was communicated to Minister Fossano. The problem with that has been is that since the last meeting, which was in February, we've not met with Minister Fossano again. And I have written, and I have seen him in the street, and I have reminded him, and that seems to be on a hiatus, which is of massive concern to us, because it means that we have departments where there are many vacancies, where there are temps covering current vacancies, but the efficiencies process is not ongoing. So that is an aspect of big concern to us.
The GGCA also say the master service post-tender transition is crucial to them, and that they've been working with the Department of the Environment to ensure there are protections over and above the employment legislation that can be captured within the tender document. On whether there is any scope to work together with other trade unions in Gibraltar to help achieve common goals, the response is rather less optimistic.
The problem with that has been that there's been issues that are not really personal issues, but within the organisations that have not made it possible. I have requested a co-working, and in the past I have requested it in writing many times, and I've had a confirmation in writing from them a number of years back saying that the Unite Executive was not allowed to work with the GGCA committee, and really from that point on we stopped making that attempt. But look, we would welcome it in future. We work together in the cross-frontier group, and we work together very well. I think that comes across, and I think that collaboration is good for unions, is good for Gibraltar, and yes, it would be it would be a good thing, but unfortunately it's not been practically possible.